Mysteries cannot always be solved. Sometimes mysteries only lead to greater mysteries. Imagine walking in a high-ceilinged hall amid the silence of vast empty places, past carved pillars and shadowed alcoves. Your footsteps are the only sound you hear, and they echo and re-echo. There's a doorway ahead, but there are many doorways behind you. Doorways you have already passed through, and each time something has changed. The quality or color of the light, or sounds have grown sharp or muffled, distant or close. Now you hear only your footsteps, but you have heard voices and music, shouts and whispers all along your journey, one replacing the other. At one point you stopped and asked where this journey was taking you, and a voice answered, home. You are going home. You have always been going home. You close your eyes, repeat those words, and feel something soft under your feet. You open your eyes and find yourself standing on a carpet of fallen leaves. The stone walls and ceilings are gone, and a great forest surrounds you. The light has changed to a mellow gold, and the dying leaves, touched by that light, look like abstract tapestries, mellowed by age and faded by the sun. This is not my home, you say, but the voice answers, hush. Look about you and ask, what isn't my home? You prepare to ask, but while you search for an honest question, while you hold your silence, the orange, red, and yellow forest around you turns to 100 greens, bright, dark, and all between. Vines embrace the trunks and hang loosely from the branches of smooth-barked trees. Mosses, too, cover the trees, and ferns taller than the top of your head grow from sodden carpets of dead and dying leaves. Forms rustle in the layered canopy that blocks the sky, and a million voices, beasts, birds, and insects, sing in a discordant choir. This is your home, the voice tells you. I've never known a jungle, you say. You have known many jungles, for there are too many jungles for you not to know. You have heard cacophonies, and you have heard melodic choirs, and each has been beautiful in its own way and in its own time. Never and not are nearly always lies, and home is not always a place. Show yourself, you whisper to the voice. Who are you? When should I show myself? Now. That is not what I asked, the voice says softly. Think about my question. Should I show myself when I was an infant, a child, a youth? Should I stand before you at the peak of my powers or in my declining years? That's what I asked. I am you. Rather, I am your spirit. And your spirit is the sum total of all that you have learned, when, and when. All that you have forgotten and all that you remember. I remember that home is not always a place, you mutter. Home is not always a place, and there are places that we don't always see as places. The seasons are places as much as they are times. Winter is a place, and a place that I remember. I've walked the halls of winter and felt her cold kisses on my face. She is the master of the universe. When all else is gone, she is the place and the times that remain. Do not pretend to know the future, said my spirit. Only a fool would attempt to predict next week. You have just attempted to jump tens of trillions of years through time to a dark prophecy that may not even be a prophecy. Over such spans of time, how could it matter whether predictions come true? Our time could end tomorrow, but the idea of eternity is still a useful thing. Without that myth, there would be no art, no science, no music, no cities. We would not be the same without a belief in forever. We would spend our precious hours merely waiting to die. The future contains life and a feeling of forever, and the past contains beauty, sadness, terrible mistakes, and soaring triumphs of the hand and mind. And the city and the spirit of the city holds most of our triumphs and most of our failures, most of our love and our unspeakable atrocities. The names are magical: Babylon, Athens, Troy and Rome, Beijing and London, Paris and St. Petersburg, east, west, south, north, and all between. The magic city, the goal of youth. This is your home. Yes, you reply, this is my home, but I also remember the desert. A photograph of a desert forms in your mind. I drove a desert once. The empty space, the vast cloudless sky. Here, more than anywhere else, can we feel where we are. Here, unblocked by forests or mountains, where the curve of the earth can be seen and known, the heat of our burning day star can be felt, and there can be no doubt of where we are, where we spend our lives, where we live, where we die, where we will our seeds to the future. Our first parents were the stars. We are children of the universe. There will be no end times, no rapture. We've already been left behind, left to our own devices, left to our own thoughts, left to conjure our own magic with the wands and staffs of art and science. Blown by the winds of forever, we came to this cool and quiet place where we survived tens of thousands of years of conflict and defeat, of victory and peace, of slipping backward and moving forward, of paradise found, paradise lost, and found again. We will discover that in this age today, after all we have seen and known, that we are not standing on a pinnacle of progress, looking back over an immense vista of past ages. Rather, we have surmounted a low hill at the end of our infancy, and are only now beginning to test our unsteady legs, and looking to a future bequeathed by us to ourselves and by the stars.